It's gonna be fun because I've always wanted to talk about it. Like you hear these motivational speakers all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you got to be a tiger, a lion out there and going to conquer. Like I'm like, I don't want to conquer that. I just want to say my penny.
That's right. You got to stay up for 72 hours with no sleep.
Yeah. Well, true. Look, I'm gonna see 2 hours no sleep to work hard for something that may come, or let me see, 8 hours and get a good night's sleep. Let's see.
Fists raised, we praise God for victory. The enemy can celebrate in the face of my enemy. The energy I used to hate no longer part of me. So pardon me for trusting the vengeance to the one who parts the sea. He paid the fee so I can go free. I call that bail money. Chasing back so you can be rich. I call that fail money. Sowing out so you can reap later. I call that well money. Wise with the talents he gave us. Yeah, that's how we coming. We ain't running, never back down. Even if we take the L, greater is the one that's in me. Then he that's in the world, we the first, cause we were last and now the roads flip. We the light and he keeps us on, the breaker never trips. We ain't running, never back down, even if we take the L. Greater is the one that's in me. Then he that's in the world, we the first, cause we were last, the roads are now flipped. We the light and he keeps us on, the breaker never trips.
The B.Honest universe. What's up? We were in a conversation. This is Denry the Overcomer. We are riding. I always say like Batman. No one's call you Batman and Robin. That's kind of like played out already.
Batman and Superman.
He said, "What? White man and Superman? What?
No.
What did you say?"
Listen, man. Listen. How about this? How about, since I got on the Marvel shirt, how about Black Panther? And what's the guy with the wings? He's Captain
Falcon?
America now. Falcon. Yeah, how about that?
So you're Falcon. So I'm Black Panther because I got my black shirt on.
All the black.
I got my muscle shirt on, right? I'm gonna enhance my muscles. What's up, B.Honest universe? This is Denry the Overcomer. I am here with the Falcon himself, the artist known as Patience. We are rocking Deuce today. It's just the two amigos. Forget that Buster Mike.
Listen, don't do that. Don't do that. It's his baby girl's birthday. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to his baby girl. This is a celebration, man. The Lord has blessed her to see a year of life, man. So, it's a wonderful thing, man.
Nah, he don't get no day off. Listen, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that for him to have his baby girl whatever time she was years ago, and now it lies on? He should have planned better. He didn't plan his life better.
Man, see,
that's what we want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. We want to talk about self-motivation, determination, planning. Listen, Arnell, I don't know about you. Let me ask you: are you a fan of motivational speakers? And I'm gonna tailor it a little bit, but give me an answer first. And then I'm going to tell you why I'm asking it in the way I am. Are you a fan of motivational speakers? And if you have the two or three motivational speakers that really do something for you, give them a quick shout out. Are you a fan of motivational speakers?
I am a fan of motivational speakers. And some of I'll say one or two of my motivational speakers that I listen to are also preachers. But I do like motivational speakers. Now, I'll say this. I've been blessed to have, studied and, learned, and, the Lord has given me some discernment. So I know how to kind of take certain things with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I don't take everything literally. I can extract what I need, and I can kind of just, leave some of the rest. Because as we know, nowadays, motivational speakers just trying to one up each other. A lot of times it's not even about motivating the people. They just trying to one. Oh, he said this. Oh, I'm gonna say that. He get up at 4:30. I'm gonna get up at 3:30. No, I'm gonna get up at 2:30. I ain't going to sleep at all. They do stuff like that. So,
who needs sleep? Who needs sleep?
Exactly. So I ain't with all of that. But of course, E.T. the hip hop preacher, he's one of my
Shout
favorites.
Out to E.T. Yes.
Yeah, man. I've actually I did some work with him way back when he was actually getting started, man. We did a church together in Atlanta, Maranatha. He did the motivational speaking and I did the music. So shout him out. Shout out E.T. I also like my man Jeremy Anderson.
Yes.
I think he's great. Yes. You know what I mean?
Next level living. Yeah, baby. Yep.
Shout out to Next Level Living, man. He is great, man. And I also like Inky Johnson. Inky's got a wonderful, powerful testimony of his, trajectory going into the NFL and, all of that. I don't want to give it away. Y'all go check out Inky Johnson. But, and there are more out there. But those are just the few that, that I listen to occasionally. And but I'm going to throw you a curveball. I also like Miles Monroe.
Me? You like me?
No. Miles Monroe.
Miles Monroe. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't look at him as a motivational speaker, but a lot of the things that he says and the topics that he discussed, because God rest his soul. He's passed away, but his music. I mean, not his music, but his stuff is still on YouTube. So I go back and listen. And this man was blessed by God to have a very, very forward-thinking mind. So there are a lot of the things that he said back then that can be applied right now. So I listen to him too, man. So what about you? Tell me about you.
All right. So E.T. definitely. I mean, he brings it. I mean, E.T. is not afraid to put God in it. He tells a secular audience, about his relationship with God. He called the 10 Commandments core values, stuff like that. He puts it in relevant language that the secular community is throwing money at him
Facts.
Come here.
Facts.
And the stuff he's saying is really sometimes it's so good that sometimes I got to turn it off. Seriously. Because I'm like, I don't feel like doing that today, E.T. No. I'm going to stay in my bed today. I don't feel like getting up that early. No. You're not going to be in my ear today telling me that I can do it. I don't want to do it today.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to go a little old school with you.
Okay.
I would say, I'm not going to say the GOAT of motivational speakers, but he is one of the GOATs. And he's old school and probably one of the first African Americans with Les Brown.
Oh yeah. You definitely took it back, but Les.
His stuff is still gold,
man. He's the OG. He's the triple OG.
His stuff is still gold.
Oh yeah.
I remember my mom used to bring the VHS. Those of us who know what that is, right?
Look, you dating yourself a little bit.
Exactly. You see the salt and pepper. He used to bring those and play his things, and still I didn't know what they was really doing back then. But some of his stuff was just like, he would say, if you seek it, you work hard for it, you can attain it, stuff like that. Then let's switch up a little bit for you. He's not known for being a motivational speaker.
Okay.
But in some of his interviews, they use it as motivation. Two people, real quick.
Okay.
Jay-Z and Denzel Washington.
Okay,
but I can known that. I can for being that. But I've listened to motivational, and they use snippets of speeches Denzel put out there like that. I mean, Denzel talks about integrity in acting.
Yeah.
Never selling out.
Mm-hmm.
Making his own mark. Stuff like that. Jay-Z, okay, people are like, man, you're a Christian, you're talking about Jay-Z. Come on, let's just tell the truth of this. Come on, this dude use hip-hop, merchandise hip-hop, merchandise the hood, and become the first hip-hop billionaire. Come on. Who does that? You got to give respect to where respect is due. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people say, well, he had to, kick a lot of people in the butt getting up there. But, hey, that's how he did it. And then the whole, conversation about haters.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Biggie and all them on what to do, how to dismiss people who hated on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to bring you to the next part. So now I know you personally, right? And the theme I want to use for today is overcome the fear of failure, because that's what people are afraid of. A lot of people are afraid to try to put themselves out there because they're afraid to fail. Now, how many albums? Let's tell the people, how many albums have you made?
Six individual albums, and of course I've been a part of numerous compilation albums. So
I thought it was 7.
It's 6, man.
6,
unless you count my mixtapes. I don't count mixtapes. If you count mixtapes, it's 10.
You're not like the Locks. You're not like the Locks.
No, I mean personally, if you say albums, I'm thinking full length projects is 6. But you count mixtapes.
By the way, that was one of the best verses ever. Sorry, just got to put it out there. Dipset versus the Locks. Yes, pastors do be listening. We be taking notes using the sermons.
No doubt. You from Harlem too, so I figured, and New York, so I figured you would.
It was one of the best. It was one of the best. I mean, It was a lot of cussing. I couldn't listen to it around my children. No, it was about 2 hours a day. It took me about a couple of days to listen it up, to break it up in segments.
To get it, But, of course.
Yeah, shout out to Jada Kiss and them cats for. I mean, when I see cats like that, and the reason why I'm putting you real quick on the spot, talking about motivation. When I see cats like Jada, Lux, all these cats perform on stage in front of a crowd. Me preaching in front of a crowd, I know I'm nervous. Right? I'm nervous already. And we're talking about overcoming fear of failure here. And I think about when my first 11 years old, first opportunity to preach. My first sermon was like father, like son. I compared David to Solomon, and then Jesus to God and us to God. You know what I'm saying? I still remember it. But I was scared I was frightened. I was frightened. Going up there still, fast forward 30 years later, I still get it. Of course, because in my realm, this is a spiritual realm, so I can't be cocky. My message comes from God, so I got to depend on him. You now, bro, just tell the people, let's just be open about who you have had quite some success. God has blessed your path, to be in front of hundreds, thousands of people to perform. Like, tell the audience, we're talking about fear of failure here, how you felt like on your first time really going in front of a crowd, not just like your homeboys, but going in front of a crowd, and what that feels like to you right now, rocking a crowd.
I still get nervous, man. I still get nervous. Listen, I'm one of those people, it's kind of crazy because when you're an artist, especially in hip hop, even in Christian hip hop, man, there's sometimes especially if you're doing like festivals and stuff, there's kind of this jockeying for position, because a lot of the bigger artists, they want to go last. You know what I mean? They want to shut down the place. So they want to go last. They'll probably never admit it, but go last. I've always been the type of guy, I want to go first.
Okay, just knock it out.
Because that's the way my anxiety is set up. The longer I wait, you know what I mean? The longer I wait, the more anxiety that comes. So even when I've been places, been on tour, and I am the headliner, it's anxiety. It's anxiety overload. One of the ways I kind of deal with the anxiety is I'll go out, and while the other artists are performing, I'm kind of, I'm just watching, getting into what they're doing. It keeps my mind off of what I'm about to do. But to answer your question, man, I still get nervous. I still get those butterflies. I still get those jitters. But what I do is I let it push me into what I'm doing instead of causing me to retreat. You know what I mean? I use it as fuel. Instead of it draining me of my energy and my desire to perform, I use it as fuel. So a lot of times I'll be backstage with the headphones on. I'm going over my set again and again and again. That's another way. I just go over my set again. Okay, I want to do this here. I want to do this song first, and then this will lead into this. And then I want to tell the DJ to cut it here because I want the crowd to participate here. And I'm going through my whole thing, and that's the way I kind of keep my mind going. You know what I mean? But I would love. That's one of the ways that I kind of deal with it, man. And
Okay.
that came over time. That came from learning, sitting down with my therapist, and sitting down with other people and talking to them about their experiences. People inside the music industry and outside the music industry, just people who do public speaking.
Yeah.
And also talk to my dad about it, because a lot of people don't know, man. My dad was a Toastmaster, man. He was a well-renowned speaker.
Really?
He's won trophies doing Toastmastering for years. So my dad
Wow.
so I would talk to him about it, how he would approach it. You know what I mean? And he just said that, once you go over your material and your material and you internalize it, that gives you a confidence that when you step up there. And he would always tell me this too, and I'll share this tidbit, man. When I'm up there performing, man, it's very rare that I look at an individual person or even look at the crowd directly. I'm always looking past them. I'm looking past them. I'm looking at, whatever's going on in the back or in the distance or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at the people, right?
Yeah.
Without even realizing it, you could lose track or lose sight of what you're doing. You see what I'm saying?
Really?
You could get caught up, because think about it. If you're looking and you giving your all, you want the people to get rocking and doing, and somebody in the crowd is looking at their phone and showing somebody else their phone, and they not into what you're doing, you could lose sight of what you're doing. Think about, like, why are these people not involved in the program? Is it something I'm doing? What is more important than what's happening right here? So in order to keep my mind from even entertaining those thoughts, like if I glance and I see something, I'll either go to the other side of the stage and start rocking with the people over there, or I'll just look in the back, or I'll just, just stay in tune with what's happening, man. That's one of the ways I do it. And I'm gonna say this other part, man. I'm kicking back to you. Another thing I had to get over, another thing I know a lot of artists deal with is messing up in the set. Messing up.
You don't want to hear that. You suck. Get off the stage.
Right. But see, that only happens. But see, the crowd usually only does that when you start to clam up. There have been a lot of times I got up there, know my music, for whatever reason, it's like I'm up there going and the lyrics won't come. So I can't clam up and just stop and be like, oh crap. Wait a minute, DJ. Wait. No, if you do that to people, then they know. You just keep going.
Gotcha.
You vibe to the music or find something creative to do.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, the crowd gonna be like, they not gonna know. They gonna think that you planned that. That's a part of what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Only when you clam up, then they'll be like, oh snap, he messed up. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I had to get over. And that was one of the things my dad taught me. He said, it don't matter if you mess up, mess the words up, whatever, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
So y'all hear that? So you hear that? Talking about one of the things of self-motivation and determination from Arnell so far. We're hearing the second part. Even if you mess up, so failure is okay. Like tanking is okay. Just keep going. Like just keep moving forward. Like it's funny. It's funny how even spiritual things that we do in spiritual world and physical things, they're similar things. Like, for example, I tell my deacons or my elders when they're serving communion, they try to be uniform, and they will flank and turn the other way or whatever the case may be. Try to, just to show some showmanship to make it a little bit more ceremonial. You know what I'm saying? Jesus just gave the disciples bread and they ate right there. But we have got to a point now, these things are more like showmanship. Just in the sake of honoring God. Let's just keep it real, 100. You know what I'm saying? But I've told them, I said, listen, if you go out there and one guy turns or one lady turns left when they're supposed to turn right, just go along with it. Don't even. Nobody knows besides us that you messed up. Right. But the minute you be like, yo, you were supposed to turn left. Deacon John, you were supposed, hey, go back.
See,
You'd be
that's when things
surprised.
go haywire. That's when
You'd be
things go
surprised.
haywire.
You'd be surprised. Even in church realm, religious realm, there's still some showmanship, and the same thing, like you're saying,
yeah.
keep going forward. You know,
Keep
even in
going.
myself, when I think now, and when you were talking, when I was talking to, I was thinking, you know what, and I might be winning something. I don't know. I'm not necessarily getting a check for it, but I'm more of a freestyle preacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I study. I do my research. I know my thing. When I go from notes, manuscript preaching, man, I preach forever because I write so much. I write so much, right?
And then you feel like I wrote all this stuff. I gotta say all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
you got to hear all these pages. I remember one time, shout out to Rufus, one of my communication producers. He looked. He got a glimpse of my slides. He's like, 46 slides.
That's
really
ridiculous.
Dang, it's gonna be a long day today.
You doing a lecture?
Where was I when 9/11 occurred? I remember being in Atlanta in class, and a young lady came in and said, "Hey, these 2 towers got hit by a plane." And I'm like, 2 towers? The only place I know with 2 towers is New York City, where I'm from. Left class, went to the Commons, and there, a whole bunch of kids sitting there watching the news where the 2 towers is being crumbling down. Being a New Yorker, that hurt my heart because the year before that, I was just there at a concert that was there happening. I was definitely shocked. I was calling family and friends to make sure no one was there. But thank God we had heroes who risked their lives going to save others. They didn't think about color and think about who they were, where they were from. Now we see xenophobia where people are judging you based on what you have. I wrap my hair. Someone can not like me because of that. Everyone isn't the same. Just because one person does something doesn't mean everyone is doing the same thing. Love everyone despite what they look like. And then at that time, our heroes, our firefighters, our cops, they didn't think about that. They thought about the human being themselves. Love everyone.
Yo, what's up, my people? Where was I on 9/11? 9/11, 2001. I was in high school, and that morning, I woke up late for school. So I'm walking to high school, and now my high school is Seward Park High School, not to be confused with Seward, what's up, with a D. So it's on 350 Grand Street in Lower Manhattan. It's about 3 miles away from the towers. So that's relatively close. So I'm walking to school, and I'm walking on Delancey Street. If anyone's familiar with Delancey Street or New York City, Delancey Street is one of the shopping strips, a place where people go to shop. It's a lesser known. It's like 125th Street, Fulton Street. I'm forgetting Fordham Road in the Bronx. It's like that, Jamaica Avenue, but it's not as well known. So it's really known for people in the Lower East Side. So I'm walking there. I hear this loud boom. I look up, and there's a hole in Tower 1. I'm like, nah, that's not real. I've seen Independence Day before. So I'm like, this is a movie. They must be shooting a movie. Boom. I go into school, think nothing of it. Hear a lot of pandemonium going on in the hallways. Hear another loud boom. On my 4th floor in my high school, there were windows everywhere. Big windows. And again, the Twin Towers was 3 miles away. So in that window, the towers looked so close, it looked like you could touch them. So I go in there, I see a hole in the other building and watch it start to fall. I said, oh, nah, this is not a movie. So I leave. I'm looking for my brother, looking for my sister, looking for my cousins. We all in the same high school. Couldn't find nobody, walk home. My uncle's working downtown at the time. So we worried about him as we walk home. Where we were living at the time is not too far from the Twin Towers, still in Lower East Side Manhattan. Everybody's in pandemonium. We all just standing outside wondering where my uncle's at. Finally find him. He walks back. He's got dust and soot all over him. It was just a crazy, crazy day. That whole week. And it was like a beautiful sunny day, which was so ironic that all this carnage was happening on this beautiful sunny day. As it relates to xenophobia, man, everything changed at that moment. anybody that was perceived to be Middle Eastern, you just looked at them with a side eye. You know, in New York City, a lot of cab drivers were Middle Eastern, so you just was always looking like, man, are you gonna blow up this cab? So it was a lot of xenophobia. It was a lot of discrimination, a lot of that going on. And I remember this movie, Crash, one of my favorite movie of all time, and it deals with the intersections between different ethnic groups and races. And one particular main character was this grocery store owner, and he presented Middle Eastern, and he was trying to buy a gun, and the store owner was a white guy. The gun store owner was a white guy, and he was telling him he had this whole rant of I'm not flying 757s into your mud huts and incinerating your families. Get out of my store. And then the store was robbed. The store was trashed and robbed, and they wrote on, now this is the Middle Eastern guy's store. They wrote, spray painted on the store, Arab. And the guy's wife was like, why do they keep considering us Arab? I'm Persian. And it really allowed us to get a window into the kind of xenophobia and the kind of ignorance that we all were displaying over times. And so moving forward, we have to stop with the ignorance, stop with the disrespect of people. Let us remember those faithful people, the firefighters, the police officers, those that gave their lives that day just to save people's lives. And so, you know, God bless everyone. And man, let's remember 9/11. Let's salute these people, celebrate these people, man. Let's just love one another. Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So as I was saying before, we were rudely interrupted by our technical difficulties on my side. So yeah, preparing. You know what I'm saying? Preparing. It's what I found out for me when I'm freestyling, or they call it going off script. For me, more of like freestyling, you know, or manuscript or whatever. It's all about your preparation. I know personally, and even though I'm a public speaker, preaching is one genre of public speaking. It's not public speaking. Like when they're doing Toastmasters and TED Talk and stuff, don't think for a second just because a person is a preacher or a pastor that they can go do that. That's a different realm.
It's another level.
It is. And so, you know, the question I want to ask now as we go to this part is what motivates you? You know, we talked about motivational speakers, but what motivates you, and why do you think humans need motivation? Like for me, like there's sometimes I just don't want to. You know, I don't want to. But then when I think about in my realm as a preacher, as a pastor, well, man, there might be one soul out there that needs to hear. That today might be it could be like today might be their last opportunity to hear the gospel, right? Last time for them to give their souls to Christ. Or it could be even for myself sometimes. This might be something that God as a message to encourage me, strengthen me, or help me to change my path. But what motive? Why do you think people need motivation, and what for you yourself, what motivates you to do the things, to put out 6 albums? And you're talking about a different genre. It's not standard hip hop. You know, my son, he listens to emo hip hop with, you know, Juice WRLD and those kind of like, dang, I wonder why it's so sad and depressing.
Exactly. That's true.
You know, you do Christian hip hop. It's like oxymorons almost.
Well, if you understand it, you'll see on the surface it seems oxymoronic, right? However, the truth is, and I explain it this way, hip hop is just a tool, right? Right? It's just like for instance, a kitchen knife, right? You can use it to slice up food, cook it, and feed people, or you can use it to kill your whole family. Yeah. Is the knife the problem?
I mean, no. That was kind of like a hard extreme there.
But listen, listen, understand this.
You could have said you could have used it to, you know.
No, but think about this.
You know,
how powerful are words? Listen, how powerful are words though?
Exactly. You're right.
Aren't words just as powerful?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So therefore, hip hop is just a tool similar to that knife.
Okay.
It's about whose hands it's in and what is the spirit behind the person who is using that style of music or that genre of music to communicate a specific message. So the tool is not the problem. It's the spirit and the person behind it. So that's why on the surface, because for so long, hip hop has been associated with negativity, materialism, misogyny. You see what I'm saying? Degrading women. It's been associated with that for so long. And there's been a concerted effort and intentionality behind elevating rappers who do that. And of course, we know we could go into that. That is meant to, because it was mainly in the black community. Yeah. We know a lot of the record labels at that time were owned by white people, and it was another way for them to turn the black community against each other. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll elevate a few of y'all, the ones who talk about all the misogyny, tearing down people, shooting up people. Those are the ones that get elevated. Why? Yeah. Because and then they become the heroes in the black community. All of the kids will want to do that, and guess what? They'll destroy each other. Yeah. See what I mean? So, okay, now, so since for so long it has been associated with that, especially people in the church or people in religious institutions, they started associating the genre or the tool with just being completely negative. So they took the other extreme, which is we just going to cancel it all, just kill it all. None of it's good, right? None of it's good. Yeah. But listen, as a Christian myself, I believe just as Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, then you believe in redeeming things, right? Yeah. And I believe that hip hop could be redeemed. You see what I mean? And that's my motivation. Gotcha. That is what motivates me. Is to show people that it's the tool itself is not the problem. It's the spirit behind it. It's the people behind it that are using this tool to enrich themselves while they poison the minds of young people, young men and women, right? To think women are you're no better than your shape. See what I'm saying? If you can't twerk and shake, you ain't no good. I'm serious, but that's what they teach you. That's what you got to do.
I'm 1000% behind you in support of that, because I know what you're talking about, and I was talking to my sons and my daughter. I was like, I've been listening to hip hop rap for 30 plus years. Right. Ever since the day of Get Fresh Crew, Doggy Fresh, Biz Markie, all of that. Right. And it's four philosophies that are still in hip hop. Making money, sex, drugs, violence, and then now and then you have battle. I'm the best. So those 5. Yeah. That's generally speaking. I mean, even till this day, of course, rappers, entertainers are just talking about those 5 different philosophies, right? And they just putting more beautiful words to it. So that's the general, like you said, that time that brings down the community, so forth. Then you have like Nas, Common, who bring like the conscious rap, the neo soul.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So they have more like what we would consider the conservative, the more self-image, more self-realization, empowerment,
community building. Exactly.
But to some people, that's boring.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're not entertaining me. You're not making me dance and thinking about sex. You're not making me think about drone drugs. You're not making me think about pressing this trigger, and you're not making me feel like I want to go fight somebody right now. You know what I'm saying?
Because those things appeal to our carnal nature. It's bigger than just people are just like, why am I so in love with men who talk about killing other people and I'm the best? Because it appeals to our carnal nature. A lot of people don't even understand why they're drawn to those things. Why would women be drawn to a man who's telling you he ain't gonna be faithful to you. He gonna sleep around. He gonna be with your sister, your cousin. He telling you this, and you still up at the concert with your hands in the air. You don't even understand why you're drawn to this, but it appeals to your carnal nature, and our carnal nature is self-destructive.
Explain to our non-religious audience, because we have different platforms of people.
Of course,
different. What does carnal nature mean? So just somebody's like, is he talking about popcorn? What is he talking about? Kernels?
No.
What are you talking about? Explain to them, what does carnal nature mean?
Okay, your carnal nature is there is, all right, inherently this world, I believe, I'm speaking, these are my beliefs, that this world was not created broken.
Mm-hmm.
It was broken along the way when our forefathers decided that they were going to try to decide what was good and evil for themselves.
You talking about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln?
I'm talking about Adam and Eve.
You went way back. You went way back. Way back.
Forefather and mother, right? Long before.
You said forefathers. You didn't say forefather.
I did. So let me specify. Our forefather and mother. Okay?
Go ahead, man. I'm messing. Go ahead.
Forefather and mother. All right. So when they decided that they were going to try to decide what was good and evil for themselves, because a lot of people don't realize when they ate of the tree, it was a knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah.
Not just the knowledge of evil. Right. So when they decided for themselves, we're not going to trust God. We're not going to trust the Most High. We're not going to trust the Creator. We're going to decide to do this for ourselves. Right. That when you do that birthed inside of you a carnal nature, which says, you know what? I can decide that being misogynistic, degrading women, being unfaithful, doing all of these things that are destructive, right? I can decide that, you know what? They're not destructive. They're good for me and my life and my well-being. That's what happened. You see what I'm saying? And so even though you may leave a trail of broken tears, broken hearts, and broken people behind you, you don't care because you've made the decision that this is good for my life. So that is what your carnal nature is. It's where you will go against, because I believe the Creator, the Most High, you know what I mean? God Almighty had established the moral fabric, not just for our world, but for our universe and the omniverse. And it keeps, he established the moral fabric for it.
Yeah.
When you choose to say, you know what, I don't care about that, I'm going to do my own thing, that is when you are speaking and acting from a carnal nature that is inside of you, saying that I'm going against the Most High, the Creator, right? That's like a car deciding. Now we've got some very advanced cars nowadays, but that's like a car saying, you know what, I ain't running on gas no more. I'm gonna put water in my gas tank. That's what's good for me. You see how foolish you would say, like, that's foolish. That's gonna kill you. That's gonna destroy your engine.
It might be cheaper. It might be cheaper. It's gonna get you a few miles, but that car will be done.
Done. But it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say appealing to your carnal nature.
So going back. And thanks for bringing that and explain that to our audience and listeners out there. Like I said, generally speaking, hip hop music, R&B, black music. I speak for black music. Those five, right?
But here's the thing.
That's the ones that sell the albums.
I don't want it to be like, okay, that's what it is. That's what's getting promoted.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. My point is, that's what I was saying.
Getting promoted.
That's what I was saying. Like Nas, Common, people who rap, Floetry, people who do conscious stuff. It's like, for a lot of the people out there, that's like boring. Now there's people who listen to it. And it's like, yo, this is, I'm feeling this. This is the thing about music. But like you said, the people behind it, the means behind it, the generals behind that, they're the ones saying what music needs to go out to what communities.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so this is what's being polluted in our communities, but it's been for 30 years, 30 plus years now. So now that's the number one, or in people's eyes. Then you have conscious rap. Now Christian hip hop, that's what I was saying, like for you to do Christian hip hop, that's a different kind of motivation. Because you could have easy, to be honest, you could have easy, because your style of way you rap and stuff like that, you're more than decent. You're good. You know what I'm saying? And so you could have done like other people said, like, yo, you know what? I ain't making no money from this gospel rap. I'll just be cautious what I'm saying. I just thank God when I get the awards and stuff like that. I pray over it. You know what I'm saying? And God knows my heart. But you're like, nah, man, I'm going to go a different path.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I realize with motivation is, and self-motivation and determination is doing something different than the norm. Not taking a shortcut, not trying to do the easy money, not trying to do. So let me ask you, when you did it, was it for the money? Be honest.
No way. Did when I did this, it was for the money. You know what I mean? A lot of people that don't know my story, I didn't start out as a Christian rapper. I started out as a hip hop artist. I was in a group in high school. After high school, we were trying to get signed. You know what I mean? We were going around, all around Atlanta. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. So we were going all around Atlanta, all of the different, different venues, clubs, whatever. I was in a group called the Knockers. We were trying to get signed, and we were on the verge of getting signed, when I surrendered my life to the Lord, and I ended up leaving the group. See what I'm saying? And at that time, I thought, that God wanted me to be done with rap altogether. But I still had a passion inside of me, so I used to just write poetry, right?
Gotcha.
And so one of my youth leaders at the church heard my poetry. Shout out to Angie Thompson. Shout out to her.
Yes, ma'am.
She played a pivotal role in me doing Christian hip hop, because she heard one of my poems one day, and she was like, "That sounds like you rapping." She was like, "Have you ever thought about putting the music behind that, a track?"
Yeah.
And that, to me, a light bulb went off in my head. You see what I'm saying? And I was just like, wow, what? I didn't, but since you said it, I'm going to give it a try.
Okay.
And so even with that, man, I never doing it for the money never crossed my mind, as far as like, I'm creating this specifically because it will be a hit song and I'll be able to tour and make money. I haven't created one song with those intentions in my mind.
All right. So how much work did you have to put for? Because one of the things, like when with professional expert, they make everything look easy. I was playing back when I was living in Atlanta, the place I used to work. We had some professional sports athletes playing. Some of them college basketball. One guy, he had played for the Hawks, but it was like the D League when you go back and forth. So he didn't really make it. Like, what I'm saying? Had a couple games, and then they was like, hey, you're not working out, whatever. Sat on the bench. But we always said, cats who sit on the bench in the NBA or NFL are no joke.
Way better.
When we would play basketball with him, it was like, easy. Like he was dancing in the air, ballerina. Just
exactly.
Like, we was watching that video with Will Chamberlain. Like he made things just so easy.
That's
but the common person, like you try that, you see the face straining. Like I'm watching the Olympics. I'm watching my girl Shelly Frazier Price from Jamaica, and she just like this.
Yeah.
Other girls behind her like you know what I'm saying? And so tell the people how much work goes into, because I think people admire rappers, they admire songwriters, but how much work really goes into putting one song together? Like what tell the people, for those young person listening right now, I'm sure there's some young person listening and they're like, man, I really want to do something for God or put food on my table. Tell Tell them how much work really goes to that, and what motivates you to put a song together in the first place.
Yeah, I'll say this: a lot of work goes from the idea of a song to getting production, recording, mixing, mastering,
Yeah,
and then deciding whether that song is going to be a single or is it going to be a part of the album, and then ultimately marketing, promoting, and putting that out. There's a lot of work, a lot of moving parts, a lot of steps in between.
gotcha.
There are people out there, and God, I feel like I'm blessed. God gave me a gift, man. If I get an idea in my head, I can literally write a song in 30 minutes.
Really,
I can write the whole song. If I get an idea in my head, I can write the hook. I can write the verses. You know, if I got the track, I can go boom, record it, done. See what I'm saying?
Wow.
Now that's not always the case because sometimes I'll do concept albums, right? I've done concept albums before, like my album Grinding for Truth,
Okay.
Lyrical Lessons, other ones were concept albums, right? So when I do concept albums, I feel like everything within that album needs to fit the concept. Sometimes that can be labor intensive because I'll get a few songs, right, that come to me like this, but I feel like, this needs to have 10 songs, 12 songs, whatever. And sometimes it can be a little bit more labor intensive. But the thing about it is when you love something, it's not really work. See what I'm saying? It's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. You love it. So you'll put the time in. You see what I'm saying? You'll put it down, go do what you need to do, come back to it, do what you need to do, come back to it, do what you need to do, come back to it, make sure it's right. So when you put it out, it's good to go. And so it's not really labor intensive, meaning it's grueling work. It's a labor of love. You know what I mean? So if anybody's out there, if getting into music, whether it's writing, producing, rapping, all of that, if that's what you love to do, put the work in. And another point of advice I would give you is find someone that's already doing what you're doing or going where you're trying to go. And if you can't make friends with them personally, just study what they're doing. Gotcha. See what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Study what they're doing. Learn because that's going to help you. And it's not, people are like, oh, but that's biting, that's doing this. No, what it's going to do is it's going to teach you. And then you could take certain things and make it your own. Yeah. That way, when you come out and when you do your thing, there'll be elements of the person that you look up to, but it'll still be your own.
Gotcha.
See what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because the truth is, listen, everybody got something from somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Tell the truth. Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody got something from somebody. If you sit down and talk to the greatest rappers in the world, you can sit down and talk to Kendrick Lamar's, the J. Cole's. You could talk to Jay-Z. Yeah. All of them. They'll tell you they were inspired by something.
Yes.
It may not. Sometimes it's another rapper, but it may not be another rapper. Yeah. It could be a businessman or a businesswoman. You see what I'm saying? It could be their mother or father. Yeah. You know what I mean? The certain way they put things together really help their mindset. You know what I mean? And help with their creative process. So that would be my thing. If that's what you really want to do, put the work in. Don't take shortcuts. Put the work in. Learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. And another thing is, I want to advise all young people, if you really want to get into the music business, perfect what it is you're doing. If you're a writer, perfect that. And then once you perfected that, start to learn other elements of the business.
Gotcha.
Because that's going to serve you well. Gotcha. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get into, I'm not saying you have to become a rapper, but meet rappers, talk to them, meet singers, talk to them, learn elements of what they do because it's going to help you.
Yeah.
Go to concerts, watch or watch them on YouTube. Look at stage performances. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Learn those elements because that's going to help you. Learn about recording. Learn about doing recording at home. Learn these other things because you never know which avenue is going to lead you towards where you want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't just say, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing and that's it. No, you can focus on that one thing and that's your main thing, but learn other elements along the way because that's what's going to help you grow.
Where was I? 9/11. So when 9/11 happened, I was in the vehicle with my dad heading to the probation office. And I heard it. My dad liked to listen to the news, like the Rush Limbaugh type radio station kind of thing. And that came on immediately. And I think I basically heard when the first plane ran to the building, and I was thinking it was just some little plane that lost its course. That wasn't it. So it was a real plane. And then the second plane ran in. And we just drove in silence. And then my phone started blowing up. Everybody started calling me like, man, did you just hear? Did you just hear? So sometimes I drive down that street and I make that left turn. And sometimes that reminds me of that day. Killer part is my second kid's mom's birthday is on that day. And so that's a whole nother story, but yeah, still remember that day. So when someone brings up xenophobia, like, are you that? No, not really. I was one of those people that was kind of upset that they were burning down the stores and stuff because they had nothing to do with that. These are the very people that gave you credit for cigarettes or gave you low price on gas or let you owe them some money. And here you are burning them down for something that they are fellow countrymen that they left to come to America to have a better life so they didn't have to be under that. You tie them in. So I do have a problem with people who do, who are racist against other people from countries. But you know what? Sometimes I find myself doing that just because I deal with certain nationalities and they bother me by the way they handle themselves as far as business. But I love all different types of ethnics from different countries. So it's a fine line, but I think it all comes to understanding the culture so that you don't find yourself being racist.
What's up? This is Denry the Overcomer. So where was I when 9/11 occurred? I was down in Huntsville, Alabama. I was at a school by the name of Oakwood University at that time, Oakwood College. And I was driving my car, and then my homeboy, John Scott, shout out to John Scott, he was yelling at me. He was like, yo, D, have you heard? Did you hear what happened? Did you hear? I was like, what? Yo, your buildings got attacked. New York is under attack. I was like, yo, stop playing. You know how we are. You know how we New Yorkers are, man. As long as, if you don't see it, we don't believe it. We ran up into the library. He showed me on the TV. It was on all the TV. I saw people crying. I saw this lady just like shocked, like she was a stone, and we saw what was going on, and we just stayed the rest of the day just watching it. School was canceled that day. Everything was canceled. You can hear the airplane above me. Planes were canceled that day. Everything was just dropped. Transportation. I called my people up in New York. Some of them I couldn't get. I was like panicking for a minute, making sure my mom and everything. My mom worked near the towers, and I finally got a hold of her. She had to walk all the way from Battery Park all the way to 125th Street in St. Nick. That's where we lived. So she had spent the whole day walking. People were panicking. It was a crazy day. It was a crazy day. It was a crazy week. It was a crazy month. My godfather, Pop Jones, he was a chaplain for the, not armed forces, for the police. It was a chaplain over the police, and he had to respond. He was down there praying with police. Police were crying. Grown men, grown ladies were crying. They found, teeth of people. They found skull. It was a gruesome sight, man. It was gruesome.
But what I did see was people bonding together, coming together. A lot of us came together. Unfortunately, xenophobia kicked in, and a lot of people, some people, not me, but people started scheming on Muslim people, Arabian-looking people, Hindu people, anybody with a wrapped head. People were attacking, burning down people's stores, robbing people, blaming them, saying that they're the cause of it and all that. So how I had to learn to deal with xenophobia. If you don't know what xenophobia is, basically fear of a certain group of people or ethnic group of people. It's basically being a black man myself and knowing how it feels for people just be scared of you just because of who you are. And so because I deal with that every single day I wake up, I had to learn to love and appreciate and respect the next person. I know that in every group there are bad and evil people, but not all of the people are just because they look the same. So that's generalizing. So that's how I had to deal with xenophobia. I do remember 20 years later what happened in 9/11. It changed my life. It changed a lot of people's life. People ran to church. I was already a church person already. But then like a few months later, people left church, Now people run back to church because of COVID. And then a few months after COVID, they left. I just hope people stop doing that, stop playing with God. But yeah, I still have faith in God. I believe that if it wasn't for God, worse things could have happened. More things could have happened. God avoided other planes, other attacks to occur. So peace out. Let's love one another the way God wants us to love one another. And remember those who lost their lives and also those who sacrificed their lives going into those buildings, those firefighters, those EMT workers, those police, respect. Let's just learn to respect each other, man. Love each other and appreciate each other while you're above ground. This is Denry the Overcomer, B.Honest Podcast, and the Kyrie and Denry GenXYZ Podcast. We out.
It's funny you say that, and we're about to put this in full circle as I'm going back to our topic for the how to overcome fear of failure, and I want to push out our next question out there: how to handle failures, before we get out of here, because people look at the glory. That's why you and I, before we were in pre-production, we was talking like people look at the glory, they look at the things, the material things that the other person, like you said, okay, I like what you said there. You said, and I like how you said it. You said find people that you look up to in your genre, and try to learn the craft. Not try to say, hey man, yo, he got a big chain. I want chains like him. Yo,
Right.
I want girls like how. Because some people do it for the wrong motivation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They do it for the things.
Exactly.
But you said do this because you're passionate about it. Like I love this. Like I really want to do this. I remember listening. I know two people. One, like I said, the place I used to work with, ex-professionals, ex-college football, and all that. This one guy here, I'm like, man. When I was in Atlanta, I was like, I seen all the, what's the SEC and all that, Georgia football, Florida football. I'm like, yo. I'm like, dang, man, I wish, man, I would have been out there, just get a shot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just get on that field, just hit somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And of course, in the back of my mind, too, of course, have some, nice cars, the ladies calling my name in the stands, all of that. I had one of my homeboys, and shout out to Bernard, Pittsburgh Steelers fan, big time, right? He said, man, he was playing college football. He hated it. And I was like, you hate it? He's like, man, and he cuss. He was like, yo, I hate it. Like 2 a days. He said, I couldn't wait. He said, I was only doing it for my scholarship money.
Right.
I could pay for my school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I was good at it, but I was only doing it for scholarship money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he said
wasn't his passion.
He did not want to play football. He hated it. 2 years ago, we were watching a football game. And I don't know if it was for the Ravens or whatever. This rookie, this was like the 3rd or 4th game in the season. He went to the locker room halftime and never came back. there was a ESPN
Oh, I
announced
remember
he
that.
retired or resigned or something during halftime.
At halftime, he retired. I remember that. I think that was the Buffalo Bills. I think I remember that.
Like I don't know if he got hit too hard or he was like, "Yo, you know what, man? I never really wanted to do this. I got my $100,000 check. I'm good. Whatever loans are paid off. I don't know." But and I don't know if they ever interviewed him, asked him what. I got to find that out.
Yeah.
But going back to what you're saying, if your heart is not into it, I was good at computers. Before I got into ministry, it was computers for me. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of high school, raised in Harlem, New York, my mom was like, "Yo, you good at computers? Go to college for computers." So I was like, "All right, fine, I'll go to college for computers." Arnell, I was good at it. Fresh out of high school, I was making good money in New York, fresh out of high school doing computers.
Right.
I was good at it, but I hated it.
Wow.
Like, I had no passion for it. As a matter right now, the only thing I do on my computer right now is my podcasting, my graphics, check my email. That's it.
That's it.
My wife can get on computers right now. She's fixing things, fixing gadgets, troubleshooting. And that's what I was doing for a living for like 3-4 years. But I hated it.
Hated it.
School, A's, B's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then now when I felt the call in my life, similar to you, like, hey, you know, God was like, knock. Hey, I know you're busy with your life, whatever the case may be, but I got something better for you. Went down to Oakwood University. Shout out to Oakwood University down in Huntsville, Alabama. Send your kids there. Go ahead, send them. Black, white, Hispanic, no matter. Asian, send them down to Oakwood. Okay, let them get the Oakwood experience. All right, go down there. Arnell, I was tanking grades.
Wow,
tanking. I went from programming computers, reading computer programming, to Greek.
Exactly.
What is this?
Exactly. Like, what is happening here?
Tanking.
Yeah.
Completely tanking. Right? My first sermon that I preached at the school, bro, the guy told me I should go. He was very sarcastic. He's like, "You do good in Australia." He told me don't go to the black churches down there. He said go to Australia. You do good. My professor told me that.
Wow.
Bro, I'm talking about the struggles and whatever, but there was something burning inside of me like, yo, this is what I need to do. And even though I didn't get a church right away after I finished undergrad, I went and tried to do mental health, got my butt kicked there. That wasn't where God wanted me to be, right? You know my story. Then finally I said, okay, yo, I'll go. And I went and I studied master's in seminary. And before I graduated, God put me in 2 churches.
Yeah, there you go.
And, you know what I'm saying? Blessed be God. So I'm at a point now, I'm like, I'm learning from my perspective. This is my side. And hear what you're saying. And because I love what you said. If it's something you love it, not necessarily just that you're good at it, but you have this love for it, and you really could do this. You could do this without no money. Because before I started passion, I was doing ministry without money. People would give me a blessing now and then. I'll preach here, I'll do something, whatever. But I loved it. I love seeing people give their life to Jesus Christ, especially young people and young adults. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel awkward. Here I am, an old dude, gray hair. I'm trying to relate. And then when I stop trying to be Mr. Young hip hop rapper, preacher, and just speak to them generally, that's when I see it in their eyes. Like, I never forget one of these. It was a sad moment, but one of the moments that really locked into my soul, Arnell, was I was doing a funeral in Chicago. You know Chicago. Come on. Y'all know, to our listeners, y'all know Chicago. Another young man, dude was 17 or 18 years old. Him and his homeboy, both of them execution style, was taken out by their own crew.
Wow.
We did the funeral. place packed with teenagers. Packed with teenagers.
Mhm.
Yes, my heart is pumping because I'm in Chicago. I'm right in the
Absolutely.
hood. And
You
you
right
know
there.
how these things can go. Cats
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
yo, we ain't finished. We gotta get the rest of the family
Yeah.
or whatever. But the place packed. And then one of the pastors, because a lot of pastors there was like, yo, we need all the pastors to go pray with some of the young, get in a group and pray with them. So we prayed. This young man, from a judgmental side of you, you're looking at him, not somebody you walk up to or walk.
Mhm.
You would want to walk across the street if you saw him. He came to me, and this is something that edged my soul. This is why when you said do what you love, like it's not about the material thing to love. He came to me. He said, "Pastor, Mister, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "How do you pray?"
Wow.
He said,
Wow.
this dude about 16, 17 years old. He said, "Mister, how do you pray for real? I want to know how to talk to God."
Wow.
I'm talking about, you see, dude, you see him, you see
Mhm.
quote unquote gangster from Chicago, but dude came to me with a question that etched into my soul. This is why I do it. He said, "How do you pray?"
How do you pray? Wow.
And bro, I broke down. Like, I mean, I didn't cry, but I was just like, I told him right there, said,
Yeah.
quickly, talk to God like you talk to your
Melt
friend.
your
I said,
heart, man.
yeah, I said, talk to God like you talk to your friend.
Yeah.
And I put my arm around him and I prayed with him right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that, like, me just going to driving to Chicago, that God put me into that place, even if it was for that young man.
Absolutely.
And I pray
No
that when I
question
get into
about
the
it.
kingdom and I walk in those streets,
Yeah.
that this dude comes
You'll
and
be
tap me
there.
on the shoulder and say, "Hey,
For sure.
Mister Pastor, you remember me?" Like, "Oh, you look familiar. I was the young man that what's his name's funeral that asked you how to pray."
Yeah.
Because you never know. And
You
so
never know,
this is how I
bro.
do it. Arnell, I'm in a position right now. I turned down, I mentioned before the show, I turned down an opportunity, not opportunity. I could have paid for in cash a car, one of my dream cars, a Mercedes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There was a time I used to pray like, "God, can I just get a Honda?" I'm blessed. I'm
Amen.
blessed. And it's not, I'm not in it because of the money. No. I would,
Yeah.
if it was money, bro, there's so many different things I would have done.
So many other things you could do.
You know what I'm saying? But it's because of that right there, Arnell. Seeing someone's life change, even if for that moment, and knowing I can leave and saying, because God is the really one behind this. So
Mm-hmm.
I plant a seed, but he's the one that takes care of this. That seed is going to germinate and grow in that young man.
Absolutely.
And that's why we do it. And I'm sure that's why when you get on the stage, it's not for the glories of the world, sir. Glory for the world.
Nah.
You know, to hear
Not at
thousands
all.
of people shouting, "Patience, patience." No,
Yeah.
it's for to see thousands of people, or even if it's one soul in the audience just weeping like, yo, man, God, I gotta give you my life. I want today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
That's my motivation. And that's even how I handle my failures. So when I mess up and I one time, real quick, I'm sorry to take so long. I preached a 5-minute sermon. I messed up. I was in Chicago again. I tanked. I was so horrible. This was before I started pastoring. I was still a student. I was so horrible. I just did an appeal and just sat down.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like,
Wow.
"He's over already?" You fast forward a year later, my wife went to an event, and these people were talking about sermons that really impacted them. And they said this young man that came to our church, they said the same time, they said it was the shortest sermon they ever heard. He looked like he was so nervous, but what he said, she said, that echoed in my mind.
Wow. See? Look at that. Look how God can work.
So when you said about keep going and all that,
Keep going.
I could have been like, you know what, I'm never going to preach again, whatever. No, because
There you go.
it's not about us. See, in our realm,
No, it's not.
So be honest, people, in our realm, it's not about us. We do our best. We try our best. We don't go up there and give God half butt stuff. You know what I'm saying? Give the world everything and then give God
not at all.
Throw something at God. No. Even when you listen to Arnell's music, it's not half written. He puts his time in there.
Put it in there, bro.
He puts his time in. You were saying something about works. and faith. He puts his time in there, and
Absolutely.
then God gets the glory.
That's
And
it.
now and then God said, yo, because you're faithful, here's some reward, here's some blessing.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, it's true, man. The way you handle failures, man, just to give a brief answer to the question, is you just keep going. Keep going. And I said this, it kind of cut out. I know you had cut out, but I'm gonna repeat it. Because you fail, it doesn't make you a failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Because you fail at something, it doesn't make you a failure. All right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will internalize that and
Yeah.
say, I'm a failure. No,
Yeah,
you're not a failure.
Thank you for
It
saying
just means, it just means that you learned a lesson. See what I'm saying? You learned a lesson that you can build on for when you try the next time. Because listen, I'm unapologetic. Denry is the same way. We're Christians, and the Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And in your mind, you'll be like, if he's righteous, why does he keep falling? Or this man keep falling? Why does the Bible call him righteous?
Yeah.
It's because he has sense enough to get back up and keep trying.
Exactly.
He keeps going. So that's what I want y'all to learn out there. If you fail at something, it does not mean you are a failure. Learn the lessons. Learn the lessons. What do you think would have happened? Listen, Michael Jordan said it. I've missed, and he has this thing up. I've missed thousands of shots. I've missed this. I've done that. I've failed in all of this. And he said, that's what makes me so good. Think about Alexander Graham Bell. How many times did he fail before he finally succeeded at creating a way for people to communicate through this little thing, and which ultimately became the telephone? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He failed over and over and over.
Yeah.
You go throughout history. The biggest successes. You can talk to Elon Musk, or you can talk to who owns Tesla. You can talk to Jeff Bezos. All of them, they will tell you the times that they failed.
Yeah.
But they did not stop. They did not stop. They kept going. And ultimately, they ended up succeeding.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, some of you will one day, someone listening to the B.Honest podcast right now may be the next Jeff Bezos or the next Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But you need to know, even if you are not, even in your daily life, whether it's your marriage, whether raising your kids, whether it's at your career, whether you're in school right now, whether you're starting a business, you're wondering whether to pack up and quit your business and close it down. Listen, keep going. And I want to say this, even if you have to close the doors on your business for now, right? So you can learn a little bit, get some more capital, and come back and try again. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Keep going. Keep going. Life is full of detours. Life is full of detours. You're going to have to take detours. Denry just shared with you. He did some other things before he finally got to a place where he was walking in his calling. You see what I'm saying? He took some detours, and he may look at it like I was running, but God used that to say, I'm going to teach you in these detours. I'm going to add some more value and skill and life experience. So when you finally get there, you'll have more to offer. And it's the same way. If you're out there listening, you're taking a detour, you're wondering whether you should go back to this thing that you're passionate about, or just do as maybe your mom and dad say, get a real job. You see what I'm saying? Listen, don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. Keep going. You may have to take a detour. You may have to go take a 9-to-5, make a little bit of money. You see what I'm saying? Get yourself grounded again, and find another way to support that passion that you're doing. And once you get the money, or you get the resources, or you get the sponsors, or you get the grants, or you get the whatever you get, go back and try again. Go back and try again. A delay is not denied. You see what I'm saying? It may get delayed, and later on in life, you may be like, I'm so glad I didn't do this when I thought I was ready.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't ready. There were more lessons that I needed to know. So just keep going.
And man, I guess that's your closing thoughts, because
that's my closing thought.
that is so heavy what he's saying there. Folks, listen, I'm not going to say I'm an expert at motivational things. There are times, because as I mentioned in one of my shows, one of our shows rather, that I struggle with depression, I struggle with anxiety, whatever the case may be. And we were listening to Lil Wayne's interview, and he talked about this too before his celebrity status, and even now, and then he has to, like Arnell is saying, he has to talk himself into a mature, positive thinking. Your mind put these thoughts in your head that most of the time is not true. And yes, you may fail at one thing or a couple of things, does not make you a failure.
No.
If you really were a failure, trust me, somebody will be putting you at the door and says, all right, get out every single time. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in a job or you're in your own business and you may not see the fruits of your labor right now, don't do it for the material. Do it because of the vision or the dream you have coming. What you're trying to get to, or keep that goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? And you see the work that you put in, it will pay off.
It will.
There's a lot of times we put this podcast out and I look at the numbers and I have to stop looking at the numbers because sometimes it's like, well, dang, man, I send this to family. Did they even listen to us?
Right. Don't even worry. Just keep going. Let's make it next one.
Well, what happened? Later on, somebody, this time, Arnell is meant to tell you, like people, things we put out months ago. Yo, I just listened to that episode. Yo,
there you go.
That was heavy.
There you go.
And that's why we're doing to help change a life. My last thing, because Arnell shared his, unless you want to share one more before he gets out of here, is listen, not only do this for you, because you know how we flaky.
Yeah.
We flaky. I don't feel like working out today.
It's true.
Think about somebody who loves you and do it also for them. Whether if you're a parent, you have children, that you want to leave a legacy for them. If your spouse, your mother or your father who, my mother used to be a domestic worker. When she came to this country from the islands, she didn't have a GED yet. She didn't have a high school diploma. So she got worked as a domestic worker and got her GED at the same time. So that motivates me, like, dude, I can't be lazy in school.
No.
I want to get to a point where I can say, bless my mom and say, yo, mom, here you go. Mom, here you go.
There you go.
I was telling my son the other day, I was like, yo, I haven't called my mom in years and asked her for money. She just would call, hey, you don't need anything? Okay, here's something for the grandkids. Because I want her to know, like, yo, I did this also for you, so I won't be a burden to you. I'll be a blessing to you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so just think about people in your life that would, like, honestly, somebody was always there to influence you. Think about it, man. Let me do this to honor them also. Because sometimes we are flaky and greedy.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. And I do that all the time, man. One of the reasons I try to stay up on my fitness and drink my water and try to eat as healthy as I can. One of my motivations is I want to be here to walk my daughter down the aisle when she gets married. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just going to let y'all know out there in B.Honest land, she's 10 years old right now. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to be some years off. Years. We're talking about years. Years. But that's my motivation. I want to be here to walk her down the aisle. And guess what? When I do that, I'm going to set another goal. I'm not going to say, well, I walked her down the aisle, I can just let myself go now. No, I'm going to set another goal. I'm going to set it, and that's another way. And we're gonna talk more about this in the future, but don't stop setting goals either. Yeah. See, once you accomplish this, you set another goal. Like when I do that, I'm going to set another goal. I'm going to say, well, I want to be here for my grandchildren. Yes. And I'm going to set another goal. And I'm going to set another goal. I'm going to continue to do what I can to motivate. And that's what motivates me to answer the question we're talking about. That's one of the things that motivates me. Setting goals, right? Saying, no, I got to accomplish this goal. I don't have time to waste. Every day is precious. We're never going to get this day again. So let me try to use it wisely. There's nothing wrong with rest, taking vacation, taking time away. You need a self-care day, some chill days. You need that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just want to let y'all know that's one of the things that motivates me is setting goals and pressing towards those goals. Yeah. Man, so thanks, man. Thanks, Arnell. Listen, I know Mike, he's going to be jealous when he listens to this and he doesn't participate because he wanted to eat cake with his daughter. But that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. You
we're doing this not just for ourselves, but for our little ones, so they can have many more birthdays with you. You know what I'm saying? They have many more birthdays with you.
Yeah.
Arnell, tell the people where they can listen to your music and stuff, man.
Wherever you stream music, man, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple Music, whether it's Tidal, wherever you stream music. If you still download music, man, you can do so on Bandcamp, CD Baby. For those of you still listening to CDs, hit me up. I got CDs. Some people still listen to CDs. But
they got no tapes? No cassette tapes?
Nah, I got no cassette tapes. I'm sorry, man. I don't go that far back. But wherever you can just put it in. You see it on the screen there, or if you're listening to this, just type in Patience, press play. Or another way to do it is just go on. You could just literally go on Google and type in The Real Patience, all one word. And many ways, because some people listen on Apple Music. Some people like Deezer. Some people like the smaller. Everybody doesn't do the Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal. Some people prefer the smaller ones like Napster and Deezer and other ones. My music is there as well. So wherever you stream your music, you can listen to it there. And I appreciate all the love and support. And you guys make sure you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow. Yes, I still have a Facebook. And you can follow me on Twitter at The Real Patience. I'd love to connect with you, man. And let's continue to be honest.
Tell the young man or young lady in one sentence, if they called you up and said, Arnell, you need to give motivational speech to that young man, young lady, but we only have time for you to say one sentence. What would you say?
Keep going.
Wow. That's
what I would say.
Wow, that's it. Keep going. Two words.
Keep going.
That's cool. That's cool, man. My name is Denry the Overcomer. The same thing. You could type me in Google. I'm not that famous and important. Just that's why I use a unique name, so you can there's only one Denry the Overcomer.
There you go.
I'm on YouTube. I guess I'm on YouTube. I got an IG page. I guess but yeah, same here. Hit me up. Say hey. Say hi, guy. Shave your beard, something. Use some dye, something, whatever you want to talk about. That's me. I ain't got no albums out yet. Maybe one day he might inspire me. I might write one song. Like, hey, okay, I wrote one song, put an album out. But honestly, if I had
out. Are your sermons on your YouTube page?
You know what I want to do? And I spoke to you about this. I do want to put my sermons on beats and put an album, like of course, shorten my sermon because some of my sermons can be long. And put the highlight parts on beats, and I was like, dude, I could
let's make it happen, man. I know DJs and other people that can help make that possible. So
yeah. I know you're talking about it. So I gotta put the work in. Y'all hear me saying it publicly now. I don't want Arnell ask me 2 years from now, yo, you gonna put that album out? I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah. but if I had one sentence, and like I said, I guess I'm an influence. I am an influence. I'm a pastor.
You are.
I would say, he said, keep going. I would say, keep the faith. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about just in the spiritual realm. Faith is believing when you can't see it. Mm-hmm. When the darkest times, believe. One of the best pictures I've seen is that one with two guys chopping away for coal mine, and one walks away right before he gets one last hit.
Yeah.
But the other dude is chopping. And so keep the faith. Just like he's saying, keep going forward, keep the faith. I'm Denry the Overcomer. This is the B.Honest podcast without Mike. And shout out to him too. This is Arnell Patience and Denry the Overcomer. Thanks for rocking with us. We are out. Remember, be honest to yourself, be honest to others, and most of all, what? Be honest to God. Peace.
days we praise God for victory. The enemy can celebrate in the face of my enemy. The energy I used to hate no longer part of me. So pardon me for trusting the vengeance to the one who parts the sea. He paid the fee so I can go free. I call that bail money. Chasing back so you can be rich. I call that fail money. Sowing out so you can reap later. I call that well money. Wise with the talents he gave us. Yeah, that's how we coming. We ain't running, never back down. Even if we take the L, greater is the one that's in me than he that's in the world. We the first, cause we were last and now the roads flip. We the light and he keeps us on. The breaker never trips. We ain't running, never back down. Even if we take the L, greater is the one that's in me than he that's in the world. We the first, cause we were last. The roads are now flipped. We the light and he keeps us on. The breaker never trips.
Can't tell me